Welcome to the first episode of Artist Association Podcast, baby.
Hello. Dude, thank you for having me.
This is Sloan Scroggin, first of his name, mother of dragons, breaker of chains. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I haven't seen you really in person and hold on, let me mute these men.
Yeah. Me and Sloan met on a film set for a terrible show that shall not be named.
Not gonna be named.
No.
A reality show shot in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky.
Yeah.
A house. We met at that destined house. He was in art department. I was in production department.
Oh, the two houses.
Two houses. I mean,
it was just like Romeo and Juliet, actually.
So we spoke. We spent a lot of time together in a garden, and
that's right.
I mean, was there a garden out there?
I think so. Something like that.
Yeah, but they had a really good. The first 3 weeks was wonderful because it was just like the build phase, and it was a small crew, and they had like a state-of-the-art chef. Like this guy was the real deal, and because
he cooked for like all these like famous musicians, and like he cooked for like Leonard Skinner.
Yeah,
or something.
And all of the some huge, like NBA players and like all kinds of stuff.
We love it.
But he had the budget to feed like a huge crew, but that crew wasn't there. Half that crew wasn't there in the first 3 weeks, so it was just this huge food budget for this small little crew.
So it was like prime rib.
He did the full 9 yards. And me and Tulio would sit.
And then later it was just like, here's these huge pasta dishes with like Kroger marinara sauce. We're like, yeah.
You get what you get, I guess. You know?
Yeah. No, he was great.
But
all right, baby. Okay. I had a few questions written down. Hold on.
Wonderful. I can't wait.
I just wrote these down when I was at work yesterday. So let's see what I got. Okay, so give yourself a quick little intro first. So like, tell the people what our two listeners. Tell the two listeners what you're kind of into, like genre-wise, and just whatever. Yeah,
so I mean, I directors, writer, and I'm very much into here's the thing, I'm a big fan. I've always been a big fan of like the thriller and the psychological thriller and the horror genre, but it's not something I'm stuck to at all. I just like the intensity and the escalation of films, and I like the way they just like keep building and building and building and building and building, and that's something I kind of want to capture, just in a very real sense. I want movies to feel real. I want to get lost in them, in those worlds that we create. So that's kind of been my main goal through my writing and through my directing. But I also work in Genie as a grip. That's something I feel very passionate about, and I like the idea of not just being one thing, but having the real experience and lighting and grip and electric in those departments. And
hell yeah!
And seeing that translate to the very, very, very creative end, because they're both creative ends to me. So
yeah. I think it's important as a director I think you should work in like every department, like just let alone in like just doing stuff on my own, like editing, like and shooting. So let's say I'm editing my own footage. I've learned so much so quickly of what not to do while I'm shooting just from editing.
Yeah, I mean it's how you do it.
So I think it's important, especially as a director, to be in all departments so you have a good like feel of what's going on.
You gotta know everything.
I keep do what?
You gotta know everything.
You do.
You gotta know everything.
So did you get into like directing, or like did you make movies when you were a kid, like growing up?
So
or what got
when
you into
I was growing up, I just played soccer and wanted to be like an engineer.
It's here Sloan's character arc.
Yeah, right. My dad did year in reviews, like for our family. Like he would edit them on like Windows Movie Maker, and then my brother started doing Vine. My brother got a lot of attention on Vine, and it would be helping kind of both of them. It's like even though very separate ends, like family year in review and like a Vines. Just both of those together, I saw how much I liked those. I didn't really think much of it until I was in middle school, and I was bored one summer day. I was old enough to have a job or like whatever. None of the neighborhood kids were in town, so I looked up online like what to do when you're bored, and it said like make a YouTube video. So I made a YouTube video. It was like 6 minutes of me.
That is the craziest way to get into that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sorry, please continue.
My idea was it was like this like long like build like motivation build up.
Yeah.
All like it's like me walking around practicing for this like water bottle flip tournament. And then at the end it's water bottle flip tournaments that like I play all the characters in it, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's like stupid photo like editing and it's like I put like every single copyrighted song known to man in there, and then I just kind of kept it. I liked that so much. I edited on Windows Movie Maker, on like just the home computer.
Yeah.
Put it up, and that was that. And then I just I liked it, so I just kept doing it, and then it just kind of led to a lot of vlogs, and then through the vlogs, I would do just a lot of random stuff. And my sister told me, she's like, you know what, Sloan, I'd always try to be funny, and like, oh hey. But there's one day my sister's like, you know what, you're not very funny, but the way you film things are cool. And I was like, interesting. At first of all, I was like, screw you! But then I was like, you know what, you make good points, so I kind of leaned into it. And then the more I leaned into it, the more I loved it. And then the more I loved it, the more I leaned into it. And then that kind of kept going until high school when the same sister told me I should join like the broadcast news.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what taught me like
like for like high school.
Yeah, like the high school. My high school had like a really good program.
Green screen and like
yeah.
They're like happy birthday, blank blank blank.
Yeah, but like that's what it was for a lot of the time. Yeah. That's why I wasn't a big fan of it like in the end. But there was something about like my high school had a really good program. They had the writing. So it was a online newspaper and broadcast, and they went kind of hand in hand. Like they're married to each other, and it was cool because we could kind of do a lot of like multimedia packages. They'd put a writer and two people on video. They'd have a whole team together for a story, and then they'd get photo gallery, video.
So it wasn't just like
it was like total multimedia, and it was cool because we really pushed that. Like we won a lot of awards. We were one of the best programs like in Kentucky. Like we'd go to like conventions where we'd win awards like in DC and Chicago and stuff like that. It was really cool, and eventually I made my way up through I was broadcast editor, and then what I basically meant like I shot anchors and then I edited all the segments together. And then eventually I became like editor-in-chief of broadcast, and and I loved it, but it wasn't for me long term. What I realized through that is I loved the filming and I loved the storytelling, because that's what a lot of my job was just storytelling through the visual medium, but through interviews and B-roll and blah 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 blah. So through that, so this is kind of story, I know a long story, but coming to this conclusion really is in that I met a lot of good people, and two of my closest friends, year before COVID, one of them was like, hey, what if we did like a feature-length film? And when you're a kid and you realize you can do things for the first time, you're like, yeah.
It's like the equivalent of like being like, let's start a band.
Yeah, no, it's like totally like the same equivalent. Yeah. So I had taken a lot of the media classes in high school, like separate, like photography, basically video, Premiere, Pro. It kind of runs you through like a lot of those. It was really cool, and we went to that teacher. We're like, hey, can we do like independent study our senior year? It was our junior year when we asked him, had the idea, like senior year, can we do this? And he goes, of course. And he did it before, where his students, and they just do short films all the whole year. We're like, we want to do one film. He's like, let's compromise. First semester, senior year, we shoot. Like this is all during COVID. This is all, I guess this is before COVID.
Okay.
this is the semester before COVID.
That's how I got into it too. Was like high school. I had like a group of friends, and like we were in this film class thing, and like everyone was just like easy A, and me and my friends were like going ham.
Yeah, you know it.
We were like taking this so seriously. It was like us, and then this like other group of like 3 people.
Yeah,
and we were all just like,
and those were like the most special moments. Like the 3 of us.
Yeah.
First semester, we shot 5 films.
I'll send you the link to all of our terrible videos.
Please do. I would love to see them too.
Please send me yours.
I will. I mean, some of them are up on. So I snapped like 1 or 2 still like on my portfolio because I love them so much.
Yeah.
But we did 5 in the first semester, and then we did, not a feature length, but we did a 44 minute. We're shooting for 45, but it ended up being 44 minutes, 44-second film. And I finished that. I finished editing that. 3 of us all made it about like 2 days before I left for school.
Yeah.
So, and that's just like set in stone. Like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Before you went to Nashville,
Yeah.
you mean? Yeah. So Sloan is in Nashville. So hit up your boy.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I know. I hit up one of my friends the other day. I was like, just like, thanks for getting me into movies, because in my head he was like really like the writer director that got all of us like into movies, and he was like, no, we all got each other into movies. Like it was like all like equal. Like I was acting. I don't want to act, but like I was acting, or like sometimes I would shoot or whatever. But
you do
like,
every part of it.
He was like, no, we all got each other into movies.
Yeah.
Just because it was like us hanging out. Anytime we hung out, we were just like, okay, so let's fucking roll the camera. Fucking da, da, da.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, but those
amazing.
are the best times. It's like I look back at high school, and I think those are my favorite memories. You know. That's like
Super
that's
good.
what it was all about.
Hold up, I have some other questions. Let's see.
Yeah, sorry, I guess I rambled a little bit.
No. This is like I'm using this as like a get to know the people on the website type thing. Oh, you're so cute. Get to know people on the website type thing, and yeah. So what drove you to? Okay, well, Zoom sucks. We're running out of time on the recording apparently, but I'm not gonna upgrade.
Screw you.
So what drove you to go to actual like film school instead of just raw dogging it or whatever?
There was a lot of thought and
The structure.
and planning, and it was. I mean, I went to school. I have a minor in business. The school I go to, it's great because it's a very good balance of the actual curriculum as well as like, like the general eds and business and real college with a lot of the film stuff involved, and it was really it's been a great foot in the door. I've met some of my, I thought the people I've met here in Nashville through school are going to be people I work with for the rest of my life. And although there are some things with the school where, like, the weird processes that I'm not a fan of, there's a lot more. I mean, I look at it as 4 years to figure it out.
Yeah,
obviously
absolutely.
I have to work through it all, and I have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But like, I have the room to make mistakes, and I have the room to really build myself as a writer and a director. Because when you go full into production, it's hard to find the time to do these things that you love.
And as you're getting, your degree, you're getting all this stuff for your portfolio as well, and also like. I kind of wish I went, but I just I think I just like missed it, and I didn't feel like moving really far away. So props to you for doing all that, but I feel like it's nice because everything that you experience there, you're getting like hands-on experience in all these departments, so you can like really like nail down what you want to do and having all this experience.
Yeah.
Versus
like that's a great point.
It probably taking years if you didn't go to film school to like nail down what you want to do. Like, let's say you went to film school and you didn't know you wanted to be a gaffer, right? And
I had no idea. I literally didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, exactly. So like, how long, if you didn't go, that would probably take you like at least 5 years to just like
who knows how long
figure out you want it. Yeah, like I mean, I'm still kind of poking around, right? And yeah, so
and obviously like I'm still at the point I'm open for anything, but I know how important specialization is in this industry, and I understand how. I mean, when I first started off, I wanted to do camera and Genie, both departments. I wanted to do it all, and people would ask me what I did, and I would tell them, "Oh, I do it all," thinking I'm winning them over. But all they look at you and says is, "Okay, you probably don't experience in any of these departments." Then.
Yeah,
and I've realized
it's like you have a doctor, and you're like, "Hey, I need a surgery done." They're like, "I'm like a pediatrician." You're like, "I need a heart doctor to do this," right? That's kind of how it works, sadly.
Yeah, we're all heart doctors.
Yeah.
That's a good metaphor. That's a good metaphor.
So I had another question. So like, what you said you like thrillers, and I always find myself writing thrillers too when I don't really watch them. Like, for instance, like you don't really make, or me personally, I don't really make what I enjoy watching or listening to. So like, for instance, like I really like a certain genre of music, but anytime I make music, it comes out like I just like produce lo-fi music. I'm like, why am I making lo-fi music? And it's just what comes out. Like, and then also like when I'm writing, I love thrillers, psychological thrillers, but they're not like in my top 3 genres. But anytime I write, those are just like the ideas that I'm drawn to and that I work on are these psychological thrillers. I have like 4 in the works right now. And so what draws you to psychological thrillers? Because you said you write those.
Here's the thing, I love suspense, and I know that's like a silly, vague thing to say, but
no,
I've realized
we love
through my time that I'm not good at maybe I'm not good. That's not the right word, but I found a lot of success and a lot of joy in writing scenes and movies and short films and whatever that are short. That's a simple idea, and it just drawn out. Like, I love the bomb under the table theory. Like Hitchcock says, like, put a bomb under a table. If you have a conversation, 5 minutes about baseball.
That's so weird when you said that. I was thinking about the intro to what's that one Quentin Tarantino movie? Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, that's literally one of my favorite scenes.
It's so good.
It's like you put a bomb under a table, and they talk about baseball for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If it goes off at the end of the 5 minutes, it's a pretty surprising, cool moment. But if you tell them that the bomb's gonna go off in 5 minutes, and then you see 5 minutes of just baseball, like,
you're like, oh my god.
Then it's like, oh, it's peak Oscar. It's like it's the golden stuff, and that's what I love. So. Thrillers is a great genre to do that.
I need to keep that in my mind more when I'm writing, just to like show the bomb.
And I also I think I found a lot of success in creating a weird character. Like a character from a thriller, a psychological thriller, or horror, or like something weird, and trying to find a way to make them feel real and realistic, and still be able to connect to these people. That's how I found my most success in creating interesting characters. And I still have a lot of work to do. There's still so many. I mean, there's a million more projects I want to do that I haven't done. Like, I don't think the work I have out now represents what I can really do. But
I feel this.
I'm excited to keep going. But
yeah, I feel the same way. I'm
like,
someone give me a chance, baby.
Yeah, right. I mean, like,
I know.
Gotta keep doing it.
I feel the same way. Because when you're doing it all yourself, it's hard to really show what you can do when you don't have like a team backing you.
This Zoom is about to end, like, right now.
Why?
It says less than a minute. Like, it says like 10 seconds.
Oh. Why do they do that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll just make another one and I'll just call you back. Okay.
Hey.
Okay, so Zoom sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. I'll just cut it wherever the fuck. Let's just go with, I'm gonna ask one more question and then we'll wrap it up. if you could pick, what's your favorite movie and why do you like it so much?
Oh, okay. My favorite movie is Good Will Hunting.
Classic.
Classic, absolute classic. I love that movie. I watched it the first time in high school. The first real movie I made, we based it off that. And then, to me, it's one of those movies I feel like I'd watch 1,000 times over again. And I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it because it's a realistic movie. It moves me emotionally. It's funny. I think it just has every fix-in. And to me, I feel like movies are about not just entertaining, but they're about moving people. And, you look at both ends. It's like you have movies, you have the art movies, the ones that win at the Oscars that your parents aren't going to enjoy watching. And you have like Transformers, which is like the opposite end where it's like there's no like art or whatever to it, but there, whatever that means. But there's so much entertainment value. And I feel like people in the last however many years have only chosen one side or the other because they think that's the only two ways to make movies. But I'm like, I think the greatest movies are the ones that have both. And you can take it, what you want out of it. Like, we should be making movies that don't go after a specific niche or a specific kind of person. Every person should be able to enjoy this movie. And I think that's what it's all about, is bringing people together. The theater is the best thing to ever happen. And although streaming is awesome, it's awesome. It's like, I miss that the idea that everybody can watch a movie together, Yeah. Like, my dad watches a show, and then my mom will watch a show, And they have shows they watch together, and those end up being the best shows, because they both into them, and they both love them. And I'm like, that's what it's all about.
It is. And I feel like the nicher you go with your theme, the more... like the nicher you go, the more of a wide audience it has, which is like a weird thing, but like I feel like the more specific you go, the more relatable it is. Yeah. And then also like, I love the theater too because it's like, for instance, like I went and saw, have you seen Saltburn yet?
No, I need to.
I went and watched Saltburn, and it's like a psychological / like sexual horror thriller. And so like, it was just me and my friends, and then there's just one other girl in the theater. And so, like, we're all just, like, looking at each other during the scenes, like, us and then this, like, stranger, and we're all, like, cringing, like, oh my god! And she's just sitting there fucking laughing her ass off, and we're like, it's just like a fun, like, bonding experience with people you've never met before and people you're never probably gonna see again. But it's just, like, you're like, I just love interacting with strangers in that way in the theater. It's a great way to do that.
One time I went to a theater and they re-showed Whiplash. This was like a year ago. They put Whiplash on, theater packed out.
Yeah.
And like, we're all holding our breath together. We were like, it's like,
I know.
It's like, what? I mean.
Yeah, I think it's an atmosphere of like everyone feeling the same thing. I think it just like enhances.
Yeah. I saw Ferris Bueller in theater once, like 2 years ago. I mean, like it's just awesome. It's like,
I know.
So
that is, whoever thought of that is the smartest person. Like, because like the theaters were / are like kind of struggling, but just showing like classics will bring people in. Like, because I'm always like, dang, like I watch a movie and I'll be like, I wish I saw that in the theater. And it's like, oh, it's back. You're like, I'm going, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta go. To wrap up, you wanna plug anything? You wanna like? You just made a short.
Yes. Shirley's Eyeball. Shirley's Eyeball. 5-minute short I just made. Psychological thriller.
So his mic just died, and but I will put a link to his short in the description. And thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy me awkwardly sitting here for the rest of this thing where you can't hear the other half.
Mm-hmm. chaos ensues. Yes. Yeah. Hell yeah, baby. All right. First episode done. Thank you for coming, sir. Yeah, go ahead. All right. That would be bad. Okay, I'm turning mine off too.
I'll also put a link to his Artist Association page in the description. So check him out and check out the website. Thanks for listening.